Hi guys, Gary here, and today we're going over a big rumor making waves in the gaming space. PlayStation may be eyeing Warner Bros. Games in a massive acquisition deal. We can see franchises like Harry Potter, DC, Mortal Kombat, and Game of Thrones all fall under the PlayStation banner. Is this legit or is it just internet hype? Buckle up, hit that like button, and let's unpack this rumor together. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure to ring that bell for more gaming news. Let's get into it. So what's the deal? This rumor originates from SEScoops, a website more commonly known for covering wrestling news, but it's been picked up by outlets such as Game Rant, Insider Gaming, Tech Times, etc. So a lot of big sites are covering this news, so it sounds like something that might be actually happening. They're saying that Sony is interested in acquiring Warner Bros. Discovery streaming and studio division, which includes WB Games and its iconic franchises like Harry Potter, DC, Mortal Kombat, Game of Thrones, etc. This isn't about a few studios, it's about a treasure trove of franchises that could reshape PlayStation's lineup. I've been saying for years that we need a Game of Thrones game in the style of The Witcher 3. Imagine being able to create your own character, explore the world of Game of Thrones, meeting all the iconic characters, fighting White Walkers, wandering around King's Landing, perhaps even participating in a mission where you attend the Red Wedding. Just think about experiencing all the memorable moments from Game of Thrones in a video game. It doesn't have to be set during the books. It could take place during Aegon's Conquest, the First Blackfire Rebellion, the Targaryen Civil War, aka the Dance of Dragons, or the War of the Nine Pending Kings. The great thing about the Game of Thrones universe is that it's so rich in lore that you could choose any period in its history to create an awesome game. This buzz started because Warner Bros. Discovery announced that it would split into two companies by mid-2026, one for streaming and studios including WB Games and another for its TV networks. With Warner Bros. Discovery stock price tanking 7% and some recent gaming flops, people are speculating they might sell off assets to stabilize. And who's got the cash to swoop in? Sony. But before we get carried away, let's break down why this rumor is making waves and what's at stake. First, let's talk about Warner Bros. Discovery, which has had a rough couple years. And Warner Bros. Games had the massive failure in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which ended up costing the company about $250 million. Then we had Milon Productions, which is working on the single-player Wonder Woman game. The game ended up being canceled and the entire studio was shut down. Despite Hogwarts Legacy being a massive hit, WB Games is still a mixed bag right now. And add to that their corporate restructuring and plummeting stock price. And WB recently lowered the pay for the WB Discovery CEO, David Zaslav, I believe the name is. He's going from making 51.9 million down to like 6 million. That's how bad the company's doing right now. Now enter Sony. PlayStation has been on an acquisition spree trying to compete with Microsoft, who scooped up Activision Blizzard and Bethesda. Sony has already acquired Insomniac Games, the makers of the Spider-Man series, and Bungie, the makers of Destiny. WB would be a huge get for Sony. They would have studios like NetherRealm, who make Mortal Kombat, Rocksteady, who has been on the down lately, but they did make Batman Arkham Knight, and not to mention those beautiful IPs, Harry Potter, DC, Game of Thrones. Like, they got just a whole treasure trove of IPs to dig from. That's a goldmine for PlayStation exclusives, and not to mention live service games, which Sony is still pushing right now. This could also be a significant push for Sony to expand its presence in the streaming business. They already own Crunchyroll, the anime streaming service. If they actually do make this deal, then Sony would own HBO, Discovery, HGTV, WB Animation, and a whole bunch more. This would make them a dominant player in the streaming market. This could be a significant opportunity to elevate their IPs on a larger scale. Imagine if they produce an anime series and an HBO show to accompany the release of Horizon 3, create in-house rather than outsourcing to another company. This strategy could save them both time and a substantial amount of money. However, there's a flip side. Some of WB's IPs, such as Mortal Kombat and Hogwarts Legacy, are multi-platform cash cows. Making them exclusive could alienate fans and hurt sales. Sony might keep them multi-platform like they did with Destiny, but still use the studio to work on exclusive projects. Then there's the bigger picture, Sony versus Microsoft. If Sony snags WB, then it's a growing power move against Xbox's empire. However, if WB's asking price is too high, or if they're just testing the waters, this whole deal could fall through. Either way, the gaming industry's consolidation is heating up and we're all along for the ride. And that's the scoop right now on the PlayStation WB acquisition rumors. Will Sony add Mortal Kombat and Batman to their gaming roster, or is it all just a pipe dream right now? Let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments below. Would you like to see Hogwarts Legacy as a PlayStation exclusive? Maybe we'll finally get that big giant meaty RPG Game of Thrones games that we all been waiting for. I know I've been waiting for years for it. Smash that like button if you're hyped. Subscribe for more gaming news, rumors, and breakdowns. Hit the bell so you don't miss our next videos. Thanks a lot, guys. Until next time, take care. Bye.